First of all, I would like to say hello. My name is Kevin Metherall, and I will be presenting on the RIDE program today. My goal is to give you some history and knowledge of the RIDE program and to tell you the policing issues and suggestions that I have to make it more successful. The RIDE program, or Reduce Impaired Driving Everywhere campaign, was started in 1977 and was initially called Reduce Impaired Driving in Etobicoke. The program is now a provincial-wide campaign led by the police community that runs all year long and involves spot checks where vehicles are stopped and drivers are checked for impairment. Many campaigns have been included in the RIDE program, such as Arrive Alive, Drive Sober, MAD, iDrive, and OSAD. During a RIDE program campaign, vehicles are randomly stopped to inspect the driver for signs of alcohol or substance abuse. A roadside screening device called the Alert is used to test if alcohol was consumed. If the test registers a warning, the driver is issued a 12-hour suspension of their driver's license. A failure results in the driver being arrested, transported to police headquarters for an intoxilizer test, and criminal charges may be laid for impaired driving. There have been a lot of issues with the RIDE program since it was established, with the most popular being the case of Deadman versus the Queen in 1985. The defendant challenged how valid the stop was under the RIDE program. The argument was there was no statutory authority for the stop under the Criminal Code or the Ontario Highway Act authorizing random stops, therefore it was unlawful detention, a violation of the gentleman's character. Luckily for the safety and public interest, the Supreme Court ruled 4-3 that the stop was not a violation of the character of rights. The random stop does fall within the general scope of public duties to prevent crime and to protect life and property by the control of traffic, as these are the very objects of the RIDE program. Another issue I found while researching the RIDE program is the quality and reliability of the breathalyzers. The ALERT stands for Alert Alcohol Level Evaluation Roadside Tester. The first challenge is getting the driver to agree to blow into the alert tester without refusing or trying to prolong the time that he or she has to give the test if they feel impaired or if they will blow a fail. The device samples deep lung air by using infrared light, providing results in milligrams of alcohol per 100 milliliters of blood. If the driver does refuse to give a sample, it is an offense under the Motor Vehicle Act. They will receive the same criminal charges just as if they did provide a breath sample that resulted in a fail. If they are unable to give a sample due to injuries or other circumstances at the time, then police will request blood samples from an attending medical doctor or nurse. How the scale works for the alert is a digital reading of 0 to 0.049. There's no consequences, except for graduated license program where the driver is allowed to read a reading of 0.00 only. A reading of 0.05 to 0.079 results in a warning where your license is seized immediately for a period of time, your vehicle is towed, and you pay fines. A reading of 0.08 and above is a fail, where your license is suspended immediately, you are arrested, your car is towed, you will have to pay fines, and you may face criminal charges. Now, because of the timing of the stop, sensitivity of the machine, many times the results have been taken to court where the officer has to prove the alert was functioning properly and the defendant was given the test properly and fair. The issue I see with the RIDE program from a policing stance is not enough programs out all year round and the drivers being charged with impaired being found not guilty due to informalities. I feel a lot more funding and sponsors are needed to the police service for the RIDE program. This would allow more officers on patrol, more roadside locations, and more vehicles being pulled over. Statistics show the more vehicles that are pulled over, the more charges are laid, and that means less impaired drivers on the road. I'd also put more funding into TV commercials, brochures in public places, and more posters and presentations in schools. The last thing I definitely think that needs to be done is making the punishment for drinking and driving more strict and the laws more understood and stern. These seem There seems to be more ways to be found not guilty than guilty, and this has to be a major concern to the police officers who are out enforcing the issue, doing the presentations just to have the driver be let off due to loopholes in the system. I feel if the readings from the alert machine were lowered, more officers were on patrol, punishments were more strict, and less people were being found not guilty, police officers and the public would be dealing with less intoxicated drivers on the street. A small little board here I have is what you would normally find when pulling up to the ride program. You see the ride truck, the officer. Here I show a police officer pulling over a gentleman in a vehicle. They usually get pretty close to you to see if you have been drinking, to see if they can smell alcohol. Here is the alert machine that the person would blow into to get the reading between 0.00 to 0.08 or above. And here are some statistics here from the GTA and Central Ontario showing persons charged with impaired and persons issued a warning. You can see by the numbers they're still very high, and that's why I feel that the laws need to be more understood and more strict, and that we need to get the message out better. Thank you for listening.